What's going on, guys? Larry here at Iron Heaven. AFC NFC Championship games this weekend. Got the Kansas City Chiefs against the Titans. They're playing right now. Then you got the San Francisco 49ers against that other team from the NFC North that are not the Chicago Bears, who I absolutely despise. But in any event, not really caring for either team that's playing today, so opted to come and train legs. We're going to do a high volume workout. Now, I want to talk about that a little bit before we get started. We're seeing a shift back from high volume to more low volume, or moderate volume to more low volume workouts, which is wonderful. I think there's a place for progressive overload, low volume workouts, all of that. But also at the same time, let's understand that there's a place for both, and at certain times in your training. I don't subscribe to one theory of muscle building. I think they all work to a degree, and you have to find out what degree that is in accordance to your body. There are times when I favor low volume, such as the winter months and probably the early to mid-spring, and then there's times where I prefer high volume and I shoot for a massive pump and not a ton of load. But right now, today, I just want to show what I would consider a high volume workout that'll help you break a massive sweat, get the appetite up. Now, the thing about high volume training that you guys have to understand too is that just like progressive overload, there comes a point of diminishing returns. You can't do too much volume. You can't do too many days in the gym. So you have to really be careful, and you have to increment the volume up a little bit. Just like with progressive overload, you have to slowly build the load up over time that you're using. So today is just an illustration of one way to do high volume. It is not the end all be all. Anything I say in any of my videos is not the end all be all. It's things that I recommend that I've had success with over my, somewhat mediocre bodybuilding career. I can't get you shredded, but I can get you big, and this is one way to get big. It's worked for years. I don't need a fucking study to say high volume training works. I don't need a fucking study to say certain exercises work. I don't need an EMG analysis, a new fit, none of that. People have been using certain exercises and certain techniques for years. High volume is one of them. So we're gonna do somewhere in the neighborhood 15 or above sets. And we're just gonna really shoot for a massive pump. I don't know how the load is going to be. This is my third leg workout in about 6 days. Also, if you actually are training that frequently, which there are some programs that do advise that, I definitely wouldn't do high volume. Definitely something in low to moderate volume range. John Meadows' Sentinel program is a really good program for training multiple times a week. But anyway, enough of me rambling. Listen to the video, see the movements I pick, and we're going to get right into it, okay? And as always, go Bears. Doesn't matter if it's high volume or low volume, moderate volume. I'm always going to start out with some type of leg curl. Opted for the seated leg curl today. This particular machine by Cybex is a monster as far as tension goes. I use this in kind of a drop set fashion. Then after my first drop set, went into a rest pause. Really love this machine. If you got access to one, I definitely think you should use it. This set me up really well for some leg presses, gave me a really good rebound. Now, something that I want to emphasize about high volume training, especially from a nutrition standpoint, you definitely have to be fueled up to be able to tolerate a session like this. I probably went into this, it was not even a probably, I went into it malnourished. Didn't really eat this day. Was busy around the house. Wife coming back in town, so had to clean up a little bit because the house was a wreck when she left, and I didn't want it to be a wreck when she came back. So got into that and just didn't really eat like I was supposed to. But still, no excuse. Some work got done, and when you're handling some heavy weight, things can get a little bit loud, as you're about to see. that was fun. Back to the nutrition piece real briefly. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you want to have a diet that's very dense in protein and carbohydrates and moderate to relatively low in fat. I like moderate fat ranges just for the health benefits. So, guys, emphasize your red meat, your salmon, things of that nature. Now, back to construction of a high volume program. It shouldn't be put together haphazardly. So at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that I wanted to hit around about 15 or so sets for legs. That wasn't per muscle group in the leg. That was the entire leg I wanted to hit 15 sets on. So the total volume of work for the hamstring and for the quadricep is relatively low, but the overall volume for the leg is a little bit high. I know some guys in the old school used to tolerate 30 to 50 set leg workouts. You're not John Defendis. I'm not John Defendis. So there's no need to go into excessive sets like that. Now what you can do is what you're seeing right here with the belt squat, how I did a drop set. You can increase volume via single sets. So this drop set is actually 3 sets in one. So yes, you're handling lighter weight, but you're still exhausting the muscle after really putting it through some work in the earlier part of the workout. I know a lot of people that are fans of progressive overload don't like drop sets, but I think they're an absolute awesome way to hit a muscle group, to really exhaust it and hit those deep fibers. Don't get me wrong, progressive overload is great. It is the basis of muscle growth. A bigger muscle is a stronger muscle, but also at the same time, don't be afraid a little bit high. Volume training does have its place. It's not meant to be used for a very long time. That's where I think the strength of progressive overload lies, in that you can get progressively stronger over many weeks. You can run a progressive overload style program for 8 to 10 if you have a great recovery system and your eating is in check, maybe even 12 weeks. But for a high volume program, it's something you really want to watch, because again, the law of diminishing returns, you can only do so much volume, and you can only do as much volume as you can recover from. So really, around about 3 weeks is probably the max that I would run anything if you're in a high volume phase. Now, some may disagree with me, but that's the amount that I found to be relatively optimal as far as weeks go when you're dealing with anything in the 15, 20, hell, if you're crazy, 25 set range. Most of us don't have phenomenal recovery systems, so again, you have to train for what you can recover from. But sometimes you just need a workout that can kick you in the dick. So exercise selection. I'm a fan of picking big exercises. As you can see, I really didn't pick any fluff today. Belt squat, lying leg, seated leg curl, stiff leg deadlift. Those are big bang for your buck exercises, and those will hit the muscle group over a large area, over a large part of the muscle. So pick some big exercises, pick a combination of isolation exercises. If you're interested in high volume training, simply get an old school bodybuilding book or old school bodybuilding magazine and put your twist on it. As far as I go, I pick those things up from time to time and I put my own spin on it. A program or a routine is just a map. When you put it into action, that's when the magic starts to happen and you can put your own twist on things. Obviously, those things change when you have a coach, but for the vast majority of us, we aren't being coached. So put your spin on things. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Again, head to my website, tenacitystrength.com. Going to be doing a lot more writing and all that. So until next time, you guys have a safe week.